Everyone would please rise, pledge, or remain standing for prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the blessings of beautiful weather we've been having. We just thank you for this time that the park was filled yesterday. Father, we thank you for that. And time for people to be able to be out and to enjoy one another's company. And we thank you for all that you bless us with in this community. Help us to see the good, and help us to see the possibilities, and help us to see the opportunities, and help us to realize too that it takes every single one of us in this community to truly make it what it can be. And we pray for your wisdom tonight, as always. You tell us in your word that we can ask you for wisdom. And we thank you for that, and we pray for your guidance to help us make decisions that definitely reflect your heart for this community, and not our self-interest. We give you all the glory and honor and praise. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Amen. If you would, roll call.
Gary Elliott.
Here.
Bob Leahy.
Here.
Jason Brewer.
Here.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Tina Frias.
Here.
And we have Russ here.
All right. I trust you've had the opportunity to review the consent agenda as presented. Any questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I have one question, Chad.
Yeah.
The Wex Bank police gasoline purchase for $628, is that something out of the ordinary that we didn't get at the school, or you know, Steve?
Good question. I don't know.
We're running into issues with the quality of the fuel in the newer vehicles. So the PD will be purchasing fuel that's more readily circulated through the tanks instead of sitting there and just growing old.
And they had run into times, there were a couple instances where if the pump was down at the school, that they really didn't have any other option.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the Wex pump was approved by Board of Works, wasn't it? So,
Okay.
yes.
That's all I had, Chad.
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. There are no other questions. I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have first, and we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved as presented. This is going to be a little unorthodox what I'm going to do next, but we had a passing in the community, that probably many of you are aware of, a gentleman by the name of Larry Anspall that started Community Christmas, which has become a staple item in Union City. So I say unorthodox, I know a lot of times they'll do moments of silence at the beginning of a meeting, but I just want to take this moment now. I really appreciate what Larry's done for this community. I was out there this weekend, and it's weird because you always picture him zipping around the park in his truck, and it doesn't matter what one's views are on Community Christmas, because I'm sure there may be people in this room that don't even celebrate Christmas or want to see lights, and that's fine. We live in that kind of country, thank goodness. But I tell you what, there's a lot of kids that really have appreciated it, and it's become a part of their DNA in this community because what he had started. And there's two things that I will take to my grave with me that I will never forget. I still remember it was like yesterday. I was standing in the dining room watching Gina. That sounds weird, but she was in the kitchen and we were talking, and the phone rang, and it was Larry. He goes, "Chad?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "We're going to light the park." The first words out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay. I mean, he might as well say, "Chad, you're flying to the moon tomorrow."
Like on fire?
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. And so But that's not the memory. The memory, even though I do remember that, thank goodness, but what I remember is we started out going door to door. Bob, you might have been part of this. We started out going door to door asking for donations. We asked for lights, or if they wanted to give pocket change, anything they were willing to give to help us get started. That's what we did. It was as grassroots American endeavor as you could have. And the memory I have is I'm down on the end of South Columbia, and I go up to this little old house, and I knock on the door, and I never know what you're going to get. When you knock on strangers' doors, you never know what you're going to get, truly. And I have this sweet old gentleman come to the door, and I told him what we were doing. He said, "One moment." And he left the room, and heard him scurrying around, and then he comes back like a couple minutes later, and it was his Christmas lights. And this guy didn't have look like 2 dimes to rub together. He gave what he had. And that never left me, because I honestly think, honest to goodness, I have some people say, you know, I'm the most optimistic person they had. And I'll be honest, when I was going door to door, I was like, this is a train wreck, you know, because people wouldn't answer the door, you name it. And I thought, but how are we ever going to like this giant park? And lo and behold, we start in the little section that first year, and then now we like the entire park, and we have literally thousands that go through that park. The other thing I remember, going back to the kids, when we start early, and one evening I was just getting ready to wrap up, and I'd done several trees, and Larry was always doing his thing, and I went, and it was by the number 2 shelter house near the volleyball. I went over and I wanted to hit the breaker or the junction box to see everything I'd just done, because I tried to hook up everything when the power's off for safety. And there's this family in the park, and these kids are doing what kids do, little kids. This one girl in particular must have been, I don't know, 7, maybe 8, and she's just bebopping around, and literally just like she's dancing to a song that's in her head. And I hit that junction box. I pull that hammer, and she just froze. And her mouth dropped open, and she just stared, because the lights were all on up above. It's like she was under this blanket of stars. And I just looked at her. She couldn't, I mean, I was far enough away from her. She didn't notice me anyway, thank goodness. But I just was looking at her, just like, I remember what it was like to be that kid. And to see what you thought was magic in front of you. To see what you thought was something just out of this world. And it was just this moment in time that was frozen, and it's just beautiful. And then, of course, me being the Grinch, I had to turn them off, and then she's like, you know, it went dark. But I never forgot that, and it's like it's a reminder when times are rough. It's a reminder of why you do what you do. And so he helped make all that possible. Because one thing people need to remember too is he went to the park board when we had a park board that time to propose community Christmas, and it was voted no twice. They turned it down 2 different times, and he didn't give up. And thank God he didn't give up, because of the impact it's had on this community. And so I just want to give a 20-second moment of silence for you to reflect on someone who gave their heart to this community, and it's the same heart that each and every one of us have inside of us to want to see something be better. Thank you. All right. We're very fortunate. This weekend is a big Saturday for us. We've got the car show downtown, which Mother Nature sounds like she is going to be a willing participant, which is awesome. And out the park, we had the fiesta, which my family got to see the practice, one of the practice sessions here recently, the dancing, which is awesome. And so that should be spectacular. On October 6th and 7th, we also have a free QuickBooks session at Vision Corner. This is brought to you by the Small Business Development Corporation in Muncie. They're coming to Union City on October 6th and October 7th to do a free QuickBooks session for all small business owners and all entrepreneurs. Again, it's free at Vision Corner on October 6th and 7th, and there's a link that will be on the city app for everybody to sign up that wants to attend. And then we'll also have a letter to read. You think it's okay for me to read this now, or do you want me to read when it's okay?
No, that's fine.
It says, dated September 2nd, 2025, to Mayor Chad Spence, City Manager Steve Shoemaker, and the Union City Council. On behalf of the Apostolic Restoration Church, we would sincerely like to thank all of you for allowing us to obtain a facade grant for the church building at 212 West Pearl Street. 2 new entry doors, a garage door, tuck pointing repairs, a fresh paint job, and some needed electrical work have made the building look and function much better. We're also appreciative for the help given on our new sign out front. A special thank you to Gary Elliott, who first mentioned the grant to us. May God bless you all, and may God bless the people of Union City. With hearts of gratitude, Mark Payzant, pastor, and Susie Payzant. Did I say their last name correct? Payzant? I just want to make sure. And please forgive me if I did not pronounce that correctly. But that was very, very sweet letter, very sweet gesture. And I want to thank them publicly, too, for taking the initiative to do what they did. Because that shows a thankful attitude for where they're at. They're taking care of what they've been blessed with. So that's wonderful. Amy, do you have anything for department reports?
Not beyond what we
Or
have
cover
on the
later.
agenda here.
Okay. Council members, Tito, we'll start with you.
Yes, I have a number of items here. First is, so all of them were about citizens who reached out to me. So one is from Mr. Kenneth Mock. He's noticed that in most of the railroad track crossings have been smoothed out, and so he's very appreciative of that, but not the one on Walnut Street. And so he's wondering if we're going to be able to smooth out the railroad crossing on Walnut Street, since that's the one that goes to the school.
That's not us, but I mean, we can inquire with CSX and see if it's on their schedule. Walnut, you said, right?
On Walnut Street.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Second, I was walking down the street one day, and Mr. Wilbert Stewart noticed me and reached out to me and said he lives on 911 West Division. He said he's had a vehicle damaged and a trailer damaged by people speeding on Division Street. He said there are children who walk there all the time on the way to and from school. He said that in the past there used to be a speed bump there, and that it had been very effective in slowing people down. I know that I have brought up this issue before, and I believe we reduced the speed limit there 1 or 2 years back. I thought that we had put in a stop sign, but maybe I was hallucinating at Boggs Avenue, but I see that it's not there. Whatever measures we've taken have not been effective, and we have someone requesting a speed bump. Is that something we could do?
Well, we have, you're correct. Well, number one, has he called the police when they had the damage to his vehicles?
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, for that, I'm sure he
Okay. Number two, we did, everybody's got a different opinion and perspective, I guess, because we did go down this road 2 years ago and put the speed bump in there, and then we got requests for it to be taken out because people were using it as a jump ramp. They were speeding, actually going faster, according to the citizens who requested it be put in, so we took it out. So I don't know. Unfortunately, we can't control people. What we can do is the best we can do. I mean, I know we have a couple Division Street occupants down here. What, you guys have any perspective on?
They'll run the stop sign at 12 and Division. And they don't think it's
So putting a stop sign wouldn't be effective, is?
We have too many people that try to see how fast they can go
Yeah.
between Plum and Walnut, on Division Street.
Between Plumbing and
It's
Home Division.
amazing.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
if
not a very
it's-
big stretch.
That's not a very big stretch, but you can listen and watch it.
Yeah. I feel your pain because I see the same thing on Columbia Street, and
That's everywhere.
I don't.
I don't think it's anything that a lot of speeding tickets wouldn't cure real quick.
It's a speed trap.
But you have to
You slow down
publicize
when you
the fact
realize
that,
there's a cop that sits in a certain spot.
Yeah.
So,
uh,
I mean, I do.
Do you,
There is from the high school in front of Tito's house down to
Yep,
Division also.
Yes.
How they get that fast before they get to the next
Yeah.
stop sign. I don't
because
know.
I live, here's your place, and it's horrible right there.
Yep.
Horrible.
Well, we will.
Art, I've got a question, and with that is for everybody is, can you pin down some hours that's more likely, or is it
Well, we get a lot of
random? Because if we can
school,
pin down hours, then we
I
can
mean,
help.
I'm laying in bed at 10 o'clock at night and I can hear them running
Yeah.
and blowing that stop
Okay.
sign.
Yeah.
I try to catch it on my, we have blink cameras, but sometimes it honestly doesn't even pick up on the camera.
Yeah, because if
They
we
hear it down
can,
there.
if we can
And I'm
establish
sure
some,
they continue on to Jackson.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we can establish some hours to help pin down when to target enforcement, then we can, that would probably help.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had someone reached out to me, Jamie Cook reached out to me regarding the lot on Oak and Howard. You know, there's an empty lot where we took out the old, decades ago, there was a grocery store there on Oak and Howard.
The hard building.
And where the gas station had been. So that's now an empty lot and there's grass there. And so a lot of pet owners seem to like it as a pit stop for their doggies to release themselves there. And so there's a lot of poop there. And so, or anyway, she's known as they're leaving poop there. And so I just wanted to remind people that Union City does have a pooper scooper ordinance. And I will read it. So it says, no person shall appear with an animal upon the public ways, within public places, or upon the property of another, absent that person's consent, without some means for the removal of excrement, which means poop. Nor shall any person fail to remove any excrement, just don't know what that means, deposited by such animal. So this section shall not apply to a blind person while walking his or her guide dog. So just for citizens to please be aware that at that grass lot, there's children who go there all the time between McDonald's and the neighborhoods and schools or whatever. And we do not want animal or any excrement any place, but and definitely not there. So please pick up after your pets. There is a group of neighbors on Hickory Street who are upset about a burned out house infested with wildlife at 315 North Mulberry Street. That is becoming a threat to public health, not to mention an eyesore. It's Mr. Josh Hyatt who raised the issue, and he posted a picture and a video of the structure and mentioned me in his post. Imagine that. The property is owned by Kenneth Wingett. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And the yard is mowed, but that's the extent of it. The house burnt down in December 2024, and there was no sewage or running water in the house at that time. Despite the fact that it is boarded up now, there are stray and wild animals going in and out. The groundhogs are loving it, and they're destroying the foundation of Mr. Hyatt's house. The trees are also dangerously overgrown, and there is a risk they could fall or collapse, potentially damaging the neighbor's home and carport. Question. So I think I've gotten an answer already, but I'm posing it for the public. Doesn't the city have equipment and manpower able to take that down? The opinion out there is that there's no need to hire an expensive contractors. Also, there are a number of people who would be willing to volunteer to help with the work. So, 5 questions. Could the city find the owner and see if we can get his permission to take down the structure? Number 2, could the city provide some equipment, supplies, manpower to help do the work? Number 3, would the city be willing to organize a group of volunteers to help tear it down? 4, when could we do this? And 5, how about the trees or the animals? And I have 2 people already who are volunteering to help. I didn't ask them permission to use their names, so I won't mention them here.
Tito, may I say something? The only thing with that, they're gonna have to be insured to take anything down.
Yeah.
I mean, being individuals, they'll have to be insured for that.
That's one of the hiccups there. There's a lot more. There's been how long has this been with this property, Steve? 3 years? 4 years?
It's been every bit of 3 years in total that the city's been working with this property owner and on this property.
Yeah, what it boils down to is because I mean there's also dumpster fees. The dumpster fees, believe it or not, are half of the cost or more. Yeah, and so I love the idea of folks wanting to step up and help. That's awesome. We need that so much more, and that's fantastic. But yeah, there's stipulations when it comes to something like this. It makes it a little bit trickier. And then also there's no way around having to have the dumpsters. What the city council does have the ability to do would be to set aside funds, and this is something I'm trying to work on through the county as well, because the county has blight as one of their initiatives. And I've spoken with Commissioner Friend and Commissioner Gary Friend and also the head of Randolph County United, Clyde Schaefer, and Bob McCoy, Mayor of Winchester. We're all on the same page in terms of we need to have a collaborative effort to address blight. If blight is truly one of the pillars of the county, then we need to collectively address this. And Bob and I were in agreement. One of our proposals was meet us halfway. So if we set aside $40,000 to tear down for blight removal, you spot us the dumpster fees. So we could conceivably get 5 to 6 homes torn down by a contractor for that amount, which would make a significant dent. And then the dumpster fees and the hauling away, which is also a significant part of that, it would, I mean, because again, $40,000, that would be over $80,000 worth of work that we would have done then. But us only paying 40. But you guys as a council have the ability to set an amount that if you wanted 2 homes torn down before the end of the year, that if you pulled from proposed to pull like from edit, somebody might ask, well, how is economic development? How is that economic development? Well, you're removing blight, so a lot of times it has been proven when you remove blight from a neighborhood, you boost the property values of the adjoining. So that is improvement. So by definition, it would fly. But you guys have that authority.
Well, Steve, how many houses did we say we had in condemnation at this
As of
point?
the Board of Works meeting today, 20.
Yeah, so 20, probably 75% of those are really destined for removal, at least.
And I don't care which one we do first. All I need is an appropriation number to put on the bill. But I will say that that's not the oldest one. And
No,
the
that's
one
by
that's
far
been
not.
condemned for the longest period of time.
Yeah.
The ultimate answer to this goes back to what we talked about at the very beginning, is people having accountability for themselves. The people that I guarantee the people who stepped up wanted to help, their properties aren't in this situation because they take care of their properties.
Well, and I'll say we condemned a house in Board of Works meeting today that is, I think, I'd argue, Steve, wouldn't you, that we condemned at least one that's every bit as bad or worse than that house?
Mm-hmm.
So this problem doesn't go away.
It's not
just,
exclusive.
Those neighborhoods have the same affliction as this one. So, not that I'm saying that's okay, but
No,
it's a universal
Yeah.
problem.
And throughout the county for that matter.
Yeah, and I think we can look at some things. So we need to take a look at edit funds and see where we're at with that, and see what we could dedicate, and maybe some other ideas.
Would you
But-
guys like it on the agenda for the next council
Yeah,
meeting?
I think we need to have it. We need to look at some numbers and see what we can do.
Well, blight on the next.
And I really think, back to the county issue, I think that, and I challenge the county to step up on this, because one of the things that sometimes there's a little perception that the cities are almost like a donut hole in the county, where county monies aren't, where county
Can't
monies
be
are used
allocated
out in
to-
the county, out
Right.
in the rural areas. No, we're part of the county too. We pay county taxes just like everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't just pay city taxes, we pay a portion of our tax dollars go to the county, and so, and blight problems are more persistent in the cities, so.
And
So-
your metropolitan areas, even albeit small in our cases, are usually the most representative of a county. In other words, a person's perception of a county a lot of times is driven on the towns or cities that are within that county.
And they carry the population, and the rural areas are dependent on the towns and cities for everything they do, in terms of, if there's
Commerce.
there's no Union City, no Winchester, there's no grocery store,
Right.
there's no,
Right.
so,
Places to eat.
so it's, I think
places to-
the county needs to have some participation in this.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Bob.
Is there a way that the city can file some sort of a lien on the owner of a condemned property to, if not, force them to tear it down and clean the lot? Or if the city does it, to file, if it costs the city $8,000, then file this lien against them in such a way that it will follow them and we can get our money back?
That's a good question,
We
because I know
haven't-
we've
we've
assessed
done
it,
that.
we've assessed the taxes, but we've not actually filed a lien, have we?
Yeah,
We've
I
already
think
done
there's some,
that for everyone.
yeah, we
We have filed a lien.
We file liens, for instance, the Oak Street property behind the old liquor store.
Okay.
There's a lien on that property for the amount. If they sell that property, that
That goes
lien
for it.
has to be satisfied, or, and see, we've got the stick on the, or we've got the carrot, in that if somebody wants a property that has a lien against it, but they have a plan that is, we have the ability to release a lien if there was a real great plan. Somebody says, hey, I'd really like this piece of property, I'm gonna build, I'm gonna spend $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on this property and do something very productive, then we can always release a lien. But we need to have those, but we do have those liens.
Okay,
But
you've answered my
most of those,
question.
most of those properties just sit and languish because they're
They don't want
generally not like that. The reason I use that Oak Street property, it has almost no value to anyone anyway, because you can't build a house on it. It's not big enough. It's not.
And the other point, Mr. Mayor, don't let anybody tell you that tearing down lighthouses is not economic
Oh, I
development.
know.
Because jobs follow people.
Yep.
You're not gonna get people in here if we are blind.
I completely agree. I know the voices that are out there.
That's nowhere near.
But yeah, no, you're preaching to the choir on that.
Yeah.
But, and
Okay.
the other thing, we've had a lot of houses that have been available for sale, and the people in the neighborhood don't really do anything about it. And I'm not to toot my own horn, but when I had a house next to mine go into tax sale, I bought it in the tax sale and tore it down. That's my side yard.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was, and there was a slumlord from Richmond trying to buy it in the tax sale. And it could still be standing in my neighborhood. I know what it would do to my property
Yeah.
value. It would have, my property value is dramatically higher by having that gone.
Yeah.
And so people need to look at some of these and see, maybe they want to challenge to do some of this themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe we'd be a participant in that, in another conversation.
Mhm. Very good.
I don't know.
I appreciate
If
it.
somebody said, hey, I'd like to buy this property beside me, it's gonna take $10,000 to tear it down, and I only have $5. I don't know. We entertain facade grants through our program has been successful.
Yeah, why not? But senators are on
Have
the
some other conversations.
That needs to be a part of next week's, or next meeting's discussion.
That was
for sure.
I'm saying that's.
Be thinking what the framework of that
I've
might
got-
look like.
I've got $10,000 in that lot that's worth a little, as a separate lot, it's not really worth much of anything, but it is to me.
Yeah, yeah,
It is to
exactly.
me.
Very good. Or is that?
So, to be continued then, and thank you, that's all I have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Tim?
Other than Chad's already mentioned it, but remind everybody the downtown cruise-in is Saturday.
I didn't get the times. If you want to show the.
Well, yeah, the official start is 2:00. We'll be start registration at noon. A lot of people show up early. We looked for a big crowd this year as far as cars, and I would love for Union City people to show up. I think it's a great day. A great time to not only see a lot of cars, vehicles that you won't see otherwise, but see a lot of friends and family, or friends and otherwise that you don't necessarily see. I have a friend coming from Indianapolis that I went to high school with. I probably haven't seen since the 80s.
Oh, my goodness.
That is going to come
Super.
Saturday. But the light, I always enjoy it working it because I see a lot of people that I don't get to see otherwise, that we don't run it past
That's awesome.
or cross paths. So, and also the Fiesta. So we've got two great events that day, and so the people can. And I think there's some ability of people to come to both events at various times if they want to. So.
And next year we're going to try to work this smooth.
Just
We'd
because
love to have something
you
every
want to
weekend.
come to the
next year.
cruise-in doesn't mean you can't go out to the Carter Park and
Right. Yeah.
enjoy the Fiesta too. So,
Absolutely.
but the weather's going to be phenomenal. So.
And something I forgot to mention too, that same night is also the banner night for the Lions Club, because
Oh,
we have a
yes.
governor
Yeah.
here in town now
Yeah.
with Jim Dubinsky, so they're going to have folks in from all over.
Yeah.
So it will be a hopping night.
Yeah.
Jason?
So on that note, we will have our cars and coffee that morning also from 9 to 11. So then I think 11, everyone needs to leave Pearl Street so food trucks can enter, start setting up to the car show.
And those that want to participate in the car show can move right
Yep.
into position then.
Yep.
Super.
And then will be no area planning meeting this month.
Okay. All right, thank
That's all I have.
you. Thank you. Bob?
I don't have anything.
Gary?
Nothing at night.
All right. And we've got Wilson. We're very thankful. You've got a very, very busy schedule with between school and athletics and the extra stuff you're involved in. So if you don't mind, would you like to give us an update?
Well, it feels great to be back first and foremost. Took a huge break off these attendance-wise, but all I have from the school is really that our Workforce Wednesday classes are back in action.
Awesome.
For those of you who don't know, what Workforce Wednesday is, just mainly every Wednesdays we don't have regular classes, but it gives a chance to our students to be able to join a productive class, whether that being building some, learning an instrument, or so on. So those are back in action and every single Wednesday now. So that's pretty much all I have on the school side. But besides that, athletic-wise, we never hurt to have more attendance-wise, volleyball or football, whatever sport being. So
More attendance, in other words, more people come to the events?
yes, sir.
That's a good call out. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yep, we're all-
I'm a little bit sad whenever I watch, I know they're movies, but like Hoosiers.
Yeah.
But I remember that as a kid going to basketball games and the gymnasium would be packed as a kid. And so, and it meant a lot. I remember just having everybody together. So that's a good call out. Thank you for being here. And Workforce Wednesdays are phenomenal. They were a huge help last year in all kinds of ways for the community. So that's awesome. Old business. We have the DORA set before you. And it goes back to what our legal firm had originally presented, if you will, in terms of the framework that they had suggested. So what questions or comments do you guys have, if any? If you do not, then I would entertain a motion.
So just to
Tito had mentioned about the streets or they've been taken out, or it's just kind of blank here. Will that be put back in?
Did you get that second one?
There's 2 copies.
Yeah, is there another one?
I sent another one this morning, but that's.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that posted on the website, city website?
If he didn't get it, he probably didn't post it on there.
Oh,
Yeah, this
It's
isn't
just
on
got
the
the street
website,
listings
so-
as they
Yeah.
were on the one
And
past.
nothing else has
Okay.
changed, it's just fill in the
Yeah,
blanks.
you should
It's just the
have
blanks
an
filled in
email.
on the
I'll
original
make sure
thing.
I give it to you. You can see.
Since we modified it, it wasn't in form.
Okay.
That's
So
as,
that's-
the streets are as we passed it, just the only thing that's different are the times, basically. From the way we originally, or the way we passed it in the order.
Do you have any other questions or thoughts? If not, I entertain a motion.
Is that, Amy, what was that ordinance number, 2025, was that 08?
I believe it was 08, yes.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2025-08, ordinance designating an outdoor refreshment area by title only.
We have a first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I think Tito by here. Amy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Burr.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
We do have approval on first reading. I would entertain a motion for
I'll move
suspension
we
of the rules.
suspend the rules.
We have a first to suspend the rules, and we have a second.
Second.
I think that was Bob.
Gary.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gary, sorry.
Ventriloquist.
Amy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott.
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Burr.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
The rules has been suspended. I would open the floor up for a second reading and a motion for approval.
Can we remind the public what it's about? I mean, it's been about a year since we really talked about this in depth.
Yeah, designated outdoor refreshment area. It's something that's been adopted by a slew of communities in the region, and it's basically a way for adults to be able to enjoy adult refreshments, but in a confined and controlled manner. So there's liberty, but with responsible restraint. Would be the best way I could put it. So that way, they're designated cups that signify it's a door drink, so they're not walking around with beer bottles or giant tequila or whatever. I don't drink, so
Just beer.
I do drink beer, but I don't drink the
It's
other stuff.
beer and wine and in the designated cups or in the
Right,
door cups.
correct.
So it can't be just an open container can or anything like
Correct.
that.
There you go.
In the,
So it's just it's a way for folks to try to enjoy themselves and also help local business and festivities,
yeah.
but in a hopefully responsible manner. And we did confer with other entities, like over in Ohio even, and they've had success with it. But again, it has to be governed, or at least oversaw by the community and the police and all of us.
So wait a minute. So we're suspending the rules and we can vote now, and we vote now, then it's enacted. And if it's enacted,
We still have to get, that still
Still
has to go back.
Has to go
to-
back.
Gotta go back to the alcohol
Yeah.
commission.
Has to be
Right.
approved by
Still has to be
state.
approved by a
Still
higher
has to
body.
be-
I was wondering,
Yeah.
is it going to be done in time by
No,
for the
no. I don't think so.
for next year?
For next year.
We're moving at the speed of government.
Would it be in time for? I don't know if we want to do this right, but I don't want to encourage anybody necessarily. But for the fall festival, for the trunk or treat. I know it's trunk or treat children, but
I don't want to touch that, but
I would be shocked if it's done that
It just
quick.
depends on how fast the state moves on that.
I'll have to submit it to them.
Well, and you said that they basically,
They've approved everything
Everything
within our
but the hours.
application, except our times was too difficult to follow for their enforcement officers. So they wanted consistent times across every day.
my assessment would be if they review it, they'll approve it pretty quickly. It's just a matter of waiting for it to get reviewed.
And I've talked to them, they've followed up
So,
with our status. I've talked to them twice since we got the letter explaining what we needed to do.
yeah. So it could happen fairly, a lot quicker than what the first round was. So.
We still have to get signage posted,
Right.
and we still have to get
Sometimes
things taken
there's
care of.
some things
The
that have
door
to happen.
cups and all that stuff will have to be secured.
But you can't order, because the cups have the number, the approval, do the cups have the number on
It's
it?
gotta have the ordinance
The
number
ordinance
on it,
number.
and then it generally, most communities just have their city logo on the cup. And we will be issuing the cups to the establishments, because the door is actually attached to businesses that have a liquor license
Right.
or a beer and wine license.
If there are no other comments, I would entertain a motion on second reading.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2025-08, ordinance designating an outdoor refreshment area by title only on the second reading.
First, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'm good with you.
I'm not sure.
Tie, it's a tie.
Okay. Amy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Burr.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
New business, Amy, the opioid settlement report, 2024-2025 review. This is also obviously in your packets. Did you want to address what was sent to council?
The report in our instance is pretty basic because we just received some funds, but we have not spent any funds in the last year out of whether it's the restricted or non-restricted. So, I mean, it's a pretty cut and dry report.
We did receive funds.
Very little, but, well,
I thought they were going to
Wait a
be
minute.
flowing through Randolph County moving forward.
well, but we do get,
A percentage of that through the
you know,
county.
and I may be saying that wrong because we just received a small one and that might have actually come right after the No, actually, no, we did not receive funds in 24 to 25. And it runs from July 1st through, so I mean, it's kind of mid-year to mid-year. But, and we did, like I said, we did just receive a small amount, but we did not have any expenditures in that time frame.
And they are obviously, they're specific in their, what they can be designated for.
Yes.
So I
And
think.
no, I made a mistake on that too. We did spend $200. We had one $200 payment for detox that was paid to Wesley,
Brianna's Hope.
one resident. And it was, actually, it was paid to Wesley, it wasn't done
Okay.
through, but it was for a resident detox, and it was just a flat $200, that's what was spent.
Okay. Any questions? If not, we move forward to the SRF disbursement approval review. Oh, I'm sorry.
One moment, but this says we have to take action in order to participate in the settlement. Is that the same thing? It's the national opioid settlement, so that we have to do something by September 30th. Are we gonna do that?
Yeah,
That's what these reports are. It's
Yeah.
just showing that these reports have been filed.
Oh, okay.
Because I did the report, Chad actually got the email for the signature saying, you know, so we did acknowledge everything by
So
the
we're good.
deadlines.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, Chad's on that
Okay.
So the next thing is for the water extension project. It's for the SRF disbursement approval. You see the letter in there from Aaron Crow with our QAW. And then the balance, 36,885. Am I looking at correctly?
No.
Where are we at?
We've got one, the total of the expenditure, 76,871. And that is coming out of the bonds for that. And then the other one, I just got the breakdown this morning for the request form actually filled out for the additional funds payable to the city attorney for their portion of those.
Okay, I see where you're at. There's like 6 or 7 pages. Wasn't one page over this morning.
So the total attorney amount is
77.81.
77.81.57?
Yeah.
37.
37, yeah.
No, the attorney fees, 5,001.
Well, it says
Okay.
77.81.37.
No, that is not the
Oh,
attorney fee.
no, that's,
No,
yeah.
that's the RQAW.
That's arcade, okay. No, I
Yeah,
looked at the
they
wrong
can't
one.
get much
Sorry.
finer print on,
Yeah, I was gonna say, even my glasses.
I don't have the right glasses on.
Doing the job.
Yeah, so 5,137, see, okay.
and I know Klein Peter, when they sent these to me, they just basically asked me to share them with you, and give your
Keep them
blessing.
abreast.
Yes, we're gonna turn these over to SRF for the disbursement,
Okay.
because they'll actually be the ones cutting the check, not
Not us.
directly through
Right.
our office.
Right. Okay. Any questions? All right, lastly then is the Apostolic Restoration Church, which includes both the application and the estimates, the detailed estimates. And so I think this is to provide clarification on what was completed.
No, this is an additional. The one thing that's.
Because they didn't go for the full 10,000 previously, correct?
No,
That's what I thought.
no. The 10,000 that we voted on last meeting was increasing it from what was originally agreed
Right.
on last September. So the
Of
funds that they.
2024, yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. So the funds that they received last year, and they did, council did agree to increase to the max of 10,000. Those were actually the remainder of the 2024 facade grant,
Okay,
which is confusing. So now they turned around and they're applying for like the next year. So they're applying
being this
for,
year.
yes, for 2025.
Okay.
And when they.
And this is for work that's not been done yet?
No, they did have that notation down there at the bottom that they're in the process of getting an additional estimate, because at the time they brought this into us, they only had the one estimate.
Yeah, we'd like to have a
I
couple
did
more.
receive it today, Amy, so.
You did receive that?
You received both, or just
I
one?
received an additional
Okay,
estimate from K.I.S.S Glass out of Eaton.
okay.
And it's, if I remember right, it's 19,000 and some change.
Oh, so it's a little bit less
A little
than,
bit less.
okay.
Now, their request here says 20,000. That can't, they can only request half.
Right, they can't,
So that's,
No.
yeah, I mean, the max we could pay out would be 10 per calendar year. And we also have a stipulation in that ordinance, if I remember, it's only so much over a certain time frame. I mean, you could apply multiple times, but
I think it's just yearly, isn't it? Once a year?
I didn't think you could do like 3 years in a row.
No,
you can't.
Yeah.
2 years, skip a year. And
Yeah,
that's what it
there you
is.
go. So they would be under that,
yeah.
they're covered under that language.
2 out of 3.
Right.
2 out of 3.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, this is council's decision.
Well, my feeling there is that, see, we're all, our max match is 50%.
Mhm.
So if they have a lower quote from K.I.S.S, for example, it's, what do you say, 19?
I can look it up. It's
Yeah, I see where you're going.
So-
It'd be 9,500
so it would
you would
be-
match versus.
Yeah, it would be 50% of that would be the max, as opposed to, if this estimate's 21,000, so you'd max out at 10,000. So it's gonna be a little less than that on
Right.
that match. It's still gonna save them money, but it's, It's gonna
So-
save them more money than us money to take the lower.
Yeah, certainly, yeah, save
But-
everybody.
But,
Catrons are the ones who did Vision Corner.
we did Vision Corner.
So, I mean, they do quality work.
So I don't
vouch for
think we
that.
have any issues with the known work.
Mm.
And I'm not sure, because part of their struggle is they gotta raise the funds within the church to do the work. So you guys approved it in '24 and they didn't get everything completed and the money raised and everything paid until just recently. So I don't have an expectation that this work would be done before the end of this year. I think it would probably roll into '26.
So what can be done is to dangle that, pardon the expression, dangle the carrot in front of potential givers would be for them to know in advance that they've got
They
a
need to
match
know they
waiting
have a
for
match.
them, that if they can reach this amount, then they can get the work done that they need for their facade.
Well, we could say, technically, we can approve the 50% match of
Right.
their lower bid.
Pending what
Because
the
we
final.
don't technically have it in our hands, it's not a public document yet, since-
Right.
since he's just received it. And then, so we could give them some assurance that they're eligible or that they're gonna go there without giving the
Dollar amount.
dollar amount final
Right.
approval.
Right.
Does that make any sense to anybody?
Sounds logical.
Works in my head, but I don't know if anybody else's.
Yeah, makes sense.
How are we doing on the, but how
Oh.
much is left in there?
Yeah.
Well, we've only had, like I said, it's a little confusing because the last one, was approved in '24 and paid out just at the last meeting. We've only had one other facade grant that has been awarded and paid out so far in 2025, and that was for $6,296. And that was technically also approved last year, but they submitted it to be under consideration for the 2025 facade grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So we have a pretty solid balance.
yeah. Well, I would entertain a motion if you feel so moved.
I'll move we give preliminary approval to the facade grant to Apostolic Restoration Church with the amount to be determined by 50% of the low bid.
We have a first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Amy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Brewer,
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Peter Frias.
No.
Okay. Visitors wishing to address the board, please stand, state your name, address, and nature of business.
If I can do that.
Oh.
I don't sit still that high. Okay, I'm Pat Such, and I know most of you, especially two of you, for decades. I can tell tales, Steve. I'm here in regards to the dogs that have been causing havoc around town about changing the city ordinance 1916. Maybe not changing it, but using it, about dangerous animals. Those dogs have been cited, according to the animal control fellow that I talked to last Thursday when he visited our house. They had been cited 7 times then, and I'm sure 2 or 3 more times since last Thursday. And I wrote it down, but I'm not going to read it to you because you can find it and understand it better than I can, but I want something done with those dogs. I'm choosing to speak because I may be the only one here who actually faced those dogs face to face. A year ago, September 25th, me and my cane and my bare feet. And I was 82 then, and I'm even weaker now, and I don't care to face them again, but I will. Our dog, 7.5 years old, Healer, loves to lay on the front porch because she just likes the sun, and she likes the squirrels, and she likes the cats and everything. And I pulled the gate closed and fastened it, but I didn't really secure the gate on our porch because I just wanted to keep her from getting nosy and going out and roaming the neighborhood. Never occurred to me that when I was in the back of the house that day, I only went home, that she would start barking as usual, because that's her way of saying, hello, will you come pet me, to everybody that goes by. But before I got to the front door to try to quiet her down, it turned into squeals and agonizing pain, horrid. And I hit the door, like I said, barefoot, not this little flimsy cane, but a big heavy oak cane. And without thinking, I stupidly hurried down 4 steps, which I normally take very carefully, and I started swinging that cane and screaming bloody murder, and I did scare them away. Had I not gotten there when I did, there is no doubt in my mind that our dog would be dead. They may have been after the 2 cats that were on the front porch with Gilly. I don't know. I wasn't there when they hit that gate and knocked it in. But they had her on the sidewalk and they were chewing really big time on her. And Bob lives next door to me and he didn't hear me yelling and come save us, did you? But anyway, any other time, Plum Street, there would be people going up and down, people out in the neighborhood, not one soul did I see. So she was damaged enough after they took off toward the school that I think she was in shock, because I could not have picked her up in any way at all and gotten her on the porch or anything. She got on the porch with me and I could examine her then. And she wasn't bleeding profusely, but there were open wounds all over her underside. So I called my son, working in Greenville, and said, who do I call? Well, the vet. Come on, Mom, the vet. So I called the Greenville vet. Oh, we don't have a doctor here today. Can you bring her in day after tomorrow? Excuse me? What do I do? Well, you'll have to take her to an emergency vet. And where's the closest one of those? Dayton. Excuse me? On the interstate with a bleeding, terrified dog, and I don't know where I'm going? So my son didn't call me back, said I called for, Lynn, Fountain City, because they had been the ones who gave her vaccination. They said, can you be here in an hour? I said, yes, can be. The meantime, I called the police. I took the time to find the police phone number. No one answered the phone. I had to leave a message. Needless to say, I was one irate lady by that time. A crazy old grandma. And so I called up at Hoosier Place and said, you tell all those old people to get their dogs inside, because they take them out walking blocks at a time. And so one of the ladies called 911. Of course, then I had 3 police cars there. And I was trying to get her ready I got my friend to go with me because I didn't know how the dog would react all the way to Fountain City. And anyway, the 3 police cars there, and I heard one of the young policemen who looked like he was maybe your age say, why do they always call us? And I just wanted to pull out my teacher card right then, but I didn't. You'd be proud of me, Tina. I didn't scream and yell, but I felt it. So we got her down there. They took her, kept her 2.5 days, 17 stitches, 7 drainage tubes, and $2,000 later, we brought her home with medication. And after about 3 weeks, she would finally go back out in the yard again to do her business without one of us with her. But after dark, no way. She would not go out. So we kind of got over that. We found out whose dogs they were. The policeman told us whose dogs they were. They found the dogs and took them back to him. I thought, wait, you just took them back to him? Oh, well, we wrote him a citation. Well, now I have found out, last July, I'm not going to give names. I have names of people here that I've tracked down on Facebook. A gentleman on the Ohio side, up on North Walnut, complained of 2 dogs attacking the cats on North Walnut on the Ohio side. And on State Line Street in Division, he described them as 2 pit bulls. Okay. One of the pit bulls at our house a year ago was really very big. We thought she was pregnant. The policeman said she was pregnant. The owner told them that no, she had a tumor, and he had her put down. He told the judge that he had her put down because we filed a lawsuit against him because I wanted to stop those dogs, and I didn't appreciate having to pay $2,000 and going through months of terror. Another gentleman on July 21st has stated not to me, on Facebook. I mentioned him. I wrote back to him and asked, could he come up here tonight? I don't see him. 2 pit bulls killed one of his cats on his porch last July. He said the incidents had been reported in the past because there had been others, including video proof, and he didn't know that anything had ever been done, so he was a little put out. A lady said 2 pits tried to attack a man on a bicycle that day also. So on July 21st, I suppose if you contacted the animal control, he probably wrote 3 citations that day. Late in August, a fellow that I know had 2 pit bulls attack his German shepherd and tore her up pretty badly. He had, I think, a $500 vet visit, $700. He was one of the $700 vet visit, I believe. But he had photos on Facebook too. And I'm not technologically great enough, as Gary will tell you, to know how to transfer from my Facebook page to the printer and bring it to you. But if you want to know these people's names, I have them here. And then last Thursday, September 4th, sitting in the living room, my son was home that day. Nice day, had the windows open, and one of our cats, we have adopted 4 cats. One of our cats was in the bay window, and I noticed he sat up really straight and ears perked up, and he was looking towards Gentry's house. And I thought, okay, there's probably a groundhog out there again, like there was today. And I didn't do anything. And then our dog went to the window and did not start barking, but started growling. And I thought, she knows what's out there. I got up and looked, and I saw those pit bulls. To me, it looked like the very same ones, the same markings. I don't believe for an instant that, I'm going to say his name, Nick Hampshire, because we have a lawsuit against him. I do not believe that Nick told the truth about having that dog put down. Because on his Facebook page is a very nice picture of a litter of pit bull puppies. And there's also a lady on there from somewhere, I don't know where she's from, I have her name. She did not respond to my message to her. She said, told the fellow who published the pictures of the pit bulls that you have to take those down because that one dog is mine and he hasn't lived in Union City for quite a while. He's probably one of the pups from the litter he and Nick's dog produced. Okay. I don't care. To me, it's still the same pit bulls. But we have 3 empty houses in our neighborhood right across the street from us. And that's where the animals, the wild animals are. And then we have another house that different families move in and out every couple of months renting, and there's no stability there. And there are a lot of cats who live in those houses. And the lady across the street came to me last Thursday after we had this fit about the pit bulls out again. And she had her plastic trash bag, and she says, I'm afraid I have one of your tigers. Well, as soon as I took it from her hand, I knew it wasn't our 2 because it was very heavy, and our biggest one was sitting on the porch looking at me, and the other one's too tiny for it. So it is a tiger that had lived across the street in those empty lots for quite some time, and we recognized it because it had a white tip on its tail, and it was totally eviscerated last Thursday. And she picked it up and brought it to me because she thought it was my cat and I would want it. But we buried it in the backyard anyway. But I was talking to my son, saying the pit bulls are out here, they're over at Bard and Bob's, and coming in our yard, just kind of weaving in and out between the bushes and the fence and the gate and wall and everything. And he got a little concerned, and he picked up his pellet gun, which is the most dangerous thing he has in the house, and his judo stick. And he has a gun, and he will use it if those dogs come back in the yard. And I've had several of these people tell me the same thing. We will use it. But the one call I made was to the 911. I'm sorry, I was not going to waste my time with the police department again because I don't know if they get the message right away or not. They didn't call me back the first time a year ago. They just finally showed up.
Yeah, it's best to call 911.
Yeah, so it was 911. And I had to explain everything to whoever answered. I don't know how many times. And she says, oh, Union City, Indiana, I think we already have a call on that today. Because at 6:30 in the morning, maybe before that, but 6:30 in the morning, There was a dog killed on, bless her heart, one of the ladies who responded to me here, killed on, what was it, North Street, North Walnut on the high side, right?
Yes.
Took the beautiful dog to the vet, couldn't save it. That dog is gone, family pet, beautiful dog. And then, she had a large vet bill too. I don't remember where else there was, but the dog, the cat across the street. By the time my son found the dogs, they'd left Gentry's yard and had gone across the street to another gentleman who builds houses for the stray cats and feeds them, bless his heart. And not everyone in the neighborhood appreciates it, but he protects them, but he wasn't home. And Chad figured that's where they were going. So he headed over there, and sure enough, those dogs each had a cat in their head, in their mouth, jaws, just shaking them like crazy. Now, you cannot tell me these are not dangerous dogs.
They're gonna hurt a child.
I have owned a pit. She was not dangerous.
No,
She was
you're
not
not.
like this.
Well, we have neighbors who have pits, and those dogs are out in the yard only when the neighbors, their owners are there, or they're on a leash or something. If these two dogs were gone from 6:30 in the morning or before until noon when they were in our yard, you can't tell me he was looking real hard for them. And I do believe he lied, and I do believe he's breeding them. And I do believe he has now ignored all of these citations. And I have no expectations of this suit we have against him when we go to court in Winchester in a couple of weeks. But I'm sick of it. And I would like for you to please look over that ordinance, what is it, 9016, about dangerous animals. I want you to do something, because as the animal control policeman said, I don't have much choice. I have to return them to him.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I thought we had a pen to put dangerous dogs in. That police officer that was here at the last meeting, I think it was, when we talked about Randolph County, don't they have a...
We do for temporary holding.
Right.
Not permanent.
They can live
I will,
They're just taken right back to him.
I will
They
get
release
with
them the
our
other
public
day.
safety director and Kyle.
His story the first time, a year ago, was that his daughter accidentally let them out when she went to school.
This is Nick's story.
Well, the same
It's not
dogs,
I'm sorry.
the same dogs that she's talking about
Uh-huh.
attacked me. It wasn't this year, it was last year.
Two pit bulls.
Right up the street from where you live, in that shack, that somebody opened the door and the two dogs ran out and they ran right for me on the sidewalk, and I had a aluminum cane
Yeah,
and I was swinging it like Mickey Mantle,
yeah,
trying to keep them off of me.
yeah.
What is do you know what the address is of these two dogs by chance?
It's North Columbia. I don't know
Okay.
the house. The house is easy to find in North Columbia on the east side.
Right next door to K.I.S.S house.
Yeah.
It's right next door to K.I.S.S house.
Okay.
K.I.S.S.
Do you know where this is? We'll find
It's
it.
just-
Thank you.
just
And
north.
I
I'm
would
so
like
sorry.
to, have you were
What's
talking-
that?
Immediately north of the
Can you do
have the
that?
new house.
Can you do that?
With the city.
Oh,
It's too fresh.
okay.
I always forget their name.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
know, but I can't think of their name.
On the west side of the street.
Yeah, or east side.
I opened the door and I seen them attacking her.
Not the.
Yeah.
Oh, not the newest house.
It's
but
her
the-
shadow.
The one that
Standard
was
watch
this,
of
the
it.
city program we did back
Okay,
years
Okay.
early on.
okay. All right, thank you.
Because there are a lot more people concerned about it than just before.
Yeah.
Thing is,
No,
it's
you're-
gonna-
My question is,
I'm
Yes,
so
they
sorry.
they will kill like child.
Yeah.
They are that vicious.
I have a question about as far as, what's the normal policy? Why would they take them back? I know that we used to have a dog that liked to get out because he liked the girl dogs, apparently. We had to get rid of him. But anyhow, every time they picked that dog up, we had to pay the city to get our dog back.
Yeah.
He wasn't attacking anybody, but he was. So why was it taken back to the owner? Why wouldn't it?
Without knowing more details of the case, I don't know.
That's what I'd like to
Well,
know.
that's
So
what
what's
Talk
we're
to
gonna find out.
Officer Thacker. He was very
We'll
good.
do, we'll
He
do.
apologized, but he said we need to do
And
something.
we'll have to familiarize ourselves.
Qualifies as
with
a
the ordinance.
nuisance.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
See what we.
yes.
So, I mean, we have the ability to go in and condemn a home when it's proved a nuisance.
Yeah.
There's no reason why this wouldn't be, you
Right.
know.
Well, if it's a nuisance, you can't do a whole lot evidently according to 9016, the city code.
So the ordinance doesn't have any kind of penalty at all?
I can't answer that at the moment.
We'll have
I don't
to, we'll have to
know.
educate
It does-
ourselves on
it
what the
does-
ordinance says
It does
specifically.
if they're deemed
But-
dangerous.
And what's the penalty?
Well, for one
It's
thing,
up to a $500 fine,
Yeah.
it's up to a $500 fine, they have to carry $100,000 liability insurance.
And
The
that's
city-
after how many times?
This can be done after one
One.
time. The city-
Yeah,
Have
they
we
should
had
have been
any,
dead. They
have
should
we
have
had
been gone.
any $500 fines?
I
The
don't know.
96 to
Like-
90.16.
Like I said, we'll
Yeah,
address.
well, if you walk and you have them attack you,
Yeah, you're gonna know it.
it's a scary
Well,
situation.
it is.
Trust me, I used to be a paper boy. I know
I
what that's.
carry pepper spray with me now,
I know.
along with the aluminum cane.
I don't blame you.
Someone also reached out to me saying that the
Yeah.
mail carrier was having that issue.
Interesting.
And I told them to call down 911.
Do we have anybody else wishing to address the council?
Yeah. You guys, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna add to what they were saying, something that I just researched myself is an Indiana state statute code, because sometimes you can do more with those than you
The
can
state.
city ordinances. And there's a statute, and it's 354636, and it talks about the impoundment of animals. And if you scroll down to a section, it's 6F, an impounding agency, which would be the Union City Police Department, can euthanize a dog, and I am not pro euthanizing a dog, but when it comes to the risk that they're killing,
Yeah.
I mean, this dog went from a dangerous dog
Right.
to a killing dog.
Yes.
And I love my dogs. I love my dogs more than some people. I am going to protect my dogs
Exactly.
by sacrificing myself. This is now a serious threat to humans because
Yes.
I guarantee there's a lot of pet owners who would do the same for their
Yeah,
dogs.
Absolutely.
And that statute states that the dog can be euthanized if the animal presents a serious threat to other animals or people. I think we are beyond that.
Yeah.
And it's sad because we're doing it because he's an irresponsible pet owner.
Exactly.
But we also can't let it continue happening.
Correct.
I don't even want Kobe walking my dogs. He walks all three of them by himself, same lap every time. We used to see Gilly out on the porch, who never bothered my dogs. They bark at each other, that's it. I don't even want him walking the dogs anymore because how is he going to fend off two of those dogs? My two little ones and then a big baby.
Yeah, right.
And there are a
Now I
lot
know
of
that
children
everyone's
there
trying-
along this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's kid is going to
Little
get hurt.
children.
Yes.
At least we're
times.
trying every avenue that we possibly
Yeah.
can by doing the 90.16, trying that first. He's not going to bury a pin 2 feet in the ground, which is what the ordinance
Right.
requires you to do.
Yeah. Fully
He's not
enforced.
going to carry the $100,000 liability insurance and list the city as a lien holder or if it gets canceled. So then what's the next option?
From my perspective, we're beyond that anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
The 2 years I've been involved with them, the officer who picked them up said, well, we told them they'd gone toward the school. We only live, down the street from you, 2 blocks from the school maybe. And the first time, with blood on her muzzle, that big female that either had a tumor or pregnant, whichever, the officer said she still had blood on her muzzle. And the officer last Thursday said when he came back with them in the back of his car in the crate, Chad says, "Oh, you got them." He said, "I don't have any problem with them. They know me. I'm going to take them home." And he says, he put down the window and he says, "You can smell the blood on them now in his car."
mercy.
You read that state statute 3546
36. 3546
-3-6.
-3.
-3-6.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. John?
120 Pleasant Drive. I will say the four-way stop out there at State Line and Deerfield,
Yeah.
or,
Are you making the stop?
no, I don't stand out there. Anyway, what I was going to tell you was, cars going north on State Line, and then they used to cut in and go to Dollar General, turn left there on Deerfield, They can't do that no more. That's good. Because before, they cut right over on your side when you was going east and almost tear your fender off. A lot of them. but it is working. I will say that.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
I will add that I encourage everybody to still use caution at that intersection, because there's some people that aren't going to see the sign, aren't not used to
Daydream
it.
or
So
whatever.
still be extra cautious that somebody else doesn't obey the four-way stop, at
Yeah.
least until everybody gets used to this. It's a big change.
About 2 days ago, an ambulance was going east across there, and I never went like this because
Yeah.
it's a lot safer.
Very good.
The other thing I got, I still need rocks in that hole out there on the north side of the park we talked about last week.
We're working with Randolph County on,
Oh, is that a county deal?
Yeah.
yeah, we've agreed with the county to do it, but we're working out the details of the logistics.
All right. And did you ever get me any paperwork on that hauling water down there? You was going to get me some paperwork that I can see.
All you have to do is come up and fill out a public request form, and we'll provide you with what you need. It was 192,000 gallons of water, and I believe it's been billed or it's in the
I've got the
process of being.
spreadsheet. I'm waiting for the last of the figures so I can get it billed. But I do have the spreadsheet in my office now.
Well, could you bring it up here so the citizens of Union City can see what's right or wrong?
I can do that. Do you want to post it on the?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the invoice generated yet, but yeah, I do have.
But
the
you see what I'm
spreadsheet.
talking about. I got people asking me about
Sure.
that, and I can't say nothing if I ain't got nothing.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I can send it to Gary and have him post it.
Well, I just want the citizens of Union City to know what's going on, if it's right or wrong.
Okay. We can do that.
I think that's it.
John, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I count on you to enlist some people for us to help at the park?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
On my back.
I might even help you.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Trust me, we've got jobs you can sit at a table, you name it. We've got all kinds of different things.
I'm not an electrician, but I've been shocked before.
Yes, Bob.
That explains a lot.
I would just request, and you all are aware that there was a 4-year-old child killed in a golf cart accident recently. We have a golf cart problem right here in River City.
Yeah.
We have people driving their golf carts through stop signs and on a regular basis. I see it all the time, and I don't stop and ask them for their driver's license, but I see kids that look like they're 13, 14 years
Exactly.
old driving golf carts, which is clearly against the ordinance. But what has gotten me is the one time I saw this, the kid pulled up and did a Indiana rolling stop. I mean, turned right, and this kid was just like 8th, 9th grader, and the cart was full of kids.
Oh.
Now, if somebody else had been doing a Indiana rolling stop and gone right through there, we'd have had kids all over the street. I'm just asking, have the cops do some concentrated work. If a kid's driving a golf cart, give the parents a ticket. Issue some warning tickets, issue some money tickets. But, we love our golf carts. Hell, my wife would kill me if I took her golf cart and wrecked it. But, they have to obey the same rules as anybody else. And when they just breeze through an intersection like it wasn't there, somebody's going to clip one of them. And especially on Columbia, State Road. And it's happening on 32 and 28. They're not paying any attention at all to the rules and regulations. And so they don't deserve to get killed. And that's what's going to happen. Those big 18-wheelers don't stop on a dime.
Right.
Is there an age limit?
Yeah.
16.
Okay, these kids that go past Hoosier Place are not 16.
I would exercise caution though in judging someone's bite. Now, obviously, if it's someone that's got a lollipop in their mouth and look like they're 3
Yeah.
feet tall, that might be one thing. But
You're right, this kid could have had a driver's license.
Yeah, I was just-
But
I'd be
he had a
cautious
whole
with some of
cart full
them.
of kids in there.
because we ran into this personally. We're housing my son who's in the military. We're housing his girlfriend at the moment, and she's actually mowing yards in the Cypress City, and she looks very young, and
Yeah.
people thought she was like 12, and she's actually graduated from Greenfield High School, and but to your point, there are some I'm sure that are underage, and
Yeah,
that will
but that's not
we'll
the
see.
real problem as far as I'm
just
concerned.
the traffic
It's the
observance.
traffic,
Yeah.
it's not obeying the laws, and they breeze through an intersection,
Yeah,
and if another guy is breezing through the
it's going to be a
intersection.
problem.
You've got
Yeah.
dead people in a wrecked golf cart.
Yeah.
Do they give any kind of a seminar, the police department or anybody? Or
Well, I mean, they've done special education before. Now, Kobe was great about doing stuff like that too. I mean, but a lot of times it's based on the need, and also, well, obviously it's the need there, but also getting people to attend and participate.
Yeah.
well, the reason why I said that was if the police would happen to stop somebody that's in violation, that if we had some kind of a seminar that they would have to go to.
All like
before
a
they
like
could
a
drive.
driving class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's not a
carts,
bad idea.
and maybe if you went and talked to carts and parts, maybe they would kind
Yeah.
of.
Yep.
I was gonna say, they probably need to post it up.
Yeah, because I had to show my license when I just got ours. And if it hadn't been for that, I couldn't have got it.
Mhm.
So,
Do we know you're past 16?
oh yeah, I'm definitely past 16.
No, I think people just view it as a toy. quite
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, I'll comment that we had an accident several years ago on Columbia Street, which is where they weren't supposed to be anyway, but
Right.
between Oak and Pearl, where a golf cart was, I think, turning into a parking space and a car pulling out or something like that. Had a golf cart hit a car in the rear end and ejected the passenger.
Mm.
I think the passenger suffered a broken arm,
No protection.
possibly, and the driver had to be a little sore because the steering wheel was folded up and the steering column bent. And people look at golf carts as a fairly tame piece of
Yeah.
equipment, but they're not.
Right.
There
They're
needs to
not
be education.
They're
They're
not
not
built
for
to be.
kids.
They're not to. They don't have safety features.
Right.
That'd be a good promotion for carts and parts too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Or the car show.
Christy, did you have anything? you
Everybody will
wanted
be there.
I was just gonna add to their stuff I already done.
to- Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't want to.
What you do, Christina?
The day next city council meeting is Monday, September 22nd at 6 p.m. The Board of Works meeting is also that day at 1:45 p.m. And the next economic redevelopment meeting is September 17th at 6 p.m. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.